what really got you passionate about, like, I know that you haven't always, you've been a professor at Morehouse for a very long time, but you haven't
Mhm.
always had a health and wellness class for the students. So what kind of shifted you into that mindset? When and how long has it been?
Yeah, so I started teaching the men's health class about 5 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that. And it was kind of thrown into my lap. So it was something I had been wanting to do for a very long time, but I had just been so bogged down with administrative detail. I was chair of the chemistry department at the time. So I just did not have the time to actually make the proposal to come up with a class. That ended up being the men's health class. But it just so happened that one of my colleagues, a newly hired junior faculty member in biology, had a similar mindset. And he actually proposed the course, had it put on the books. He actually doesn't teach the course very much anymore. So I'm pretty much the only person teaching that course at Morehouse. So, I'm thankful to him, Ethel Vereen. So I want to thank him for putting the class on the books. But it is one that I have really taken up with passion. And to hear students talk about it, I think it's been a really good course for them to take, opening their eyes as to things that they can do now in order to further their lives and make sure that they, again, are going to live productive lives that have longevity, but that are also healthy and happy.
You tell me a little bit about, my son has told me about some of the topics that come up, as much as the son would talk to a father. But I'd like to hear from you, like, what are some of the subjects you cross over with the kids, or young men rather, and just a brief overview of some stuff.
Yeah, so it's a really comprehensive course. And right now I'm really struggling to talk about everything that we need to talk about in my mind in one semester. So I wouldn't be surprised if, in the years to come that this actually becomes a 2 semester course, or if there isn't some other iteration of this course that is actually offered in the public health minor. But being comprehensive, we start off, it's actually comprised of modules. The first module is one where we talk about manhood, masculinity, and mental health. And it's intentional, and I think it's important that we start with that discussion. We're talking about young men who are entering the world, becoming independent, many of them for the first time, and discovering themselves in lots of different ways, discovering their identity, their sexual identity, all of it. Oftentimes, if there aren't the proper guardrails there, um, the way that they think about themselves as men can actually have a deleterious effect on their lives, and it actually can negatively impact their mental health. So we'll probably come back and talk a little bit more about that, but that's the first big major module in the course. Then we move into a discussion of diet, metabolism, disease, so that we can start thinking about how diet and exercise play a part in prevention, but also can serve a therapeutic purpose for people who are struggling with chronic disease. Beyond that, we move into cardiovascular disease and other things like pulmonary issues. Then we move into infectious diseases writ large, and then focus on sexually transmitted infections in the male reproductive system. But then at the end of that fourth module, we actually kind of turn turn the tables in such a way that the students then have to produce a work product that will educate the community. So one of the capstone experiences in the course is that they have to present a public service announcement as a video that can actually be posted on YouTube or disseminated to public schools or schools throughout the metro Atlanta area. And they also have to come up with a brochure that can be disseminated in a Black Barbershop initiative that I've been leading for a couple of years with my fraternity. But the whole idea is for them to become stewards of this information, be ambassadors in such a way that they too can have a voice and have an impact on the course of people's lives in our community.
Okay. And you sort of glossed over your fraternity. Maybe you could tell us which fraternity that is.
Yes. I'm a proud member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. So I am 28 years in, still active, still financial, all that jazz.